Okay, got you.
Hi.
Yeah. Ah, Philippa, hello. Wonderful to see you.
This is amazing.
It's pretty cool, right?
Isn't it?
This is Digital Garage. Digital garages are purposely placed on the high street, and the idea is that anyone can pop in and get some, relatively basic but up to slightly more advanced digital skills. There's actually and I guess it sort of leads me on to think about how you're thinking about the digital requirements of your business.
It's a big challenge because digital's so broad, isn't it? There's so many different areas.
Everything is digital.
Yeah, everything's digital. Digital out of home. It's continuous learning.
Yep.
You can't just do a course and go, I've done it, because everything's changing. You know, and so we just have to keep on investing in our people. I have to say, all the work we do with you on all the different types of training and how we embrace what you can offer us as well at Google is fantastic. And I would say the majority of the people at Omnicom Media Group know they need to lean in because it's their future.
It's their future.
It's like mad if you don't. And clients are expecting it, let's face it.
I completely agree. Is that something, do you carve out time for that? The
biggest challenge is amongst the generalists, so the client-facing people who have everything to cover. The digital specialists, it's absolutely fine because they're doing it day in, day out. I don't expect everyone to have the same level of capability. So we're actually setting up this thing, which is great, that Kate King, my head of people, is doing, called the Capability Framework. And we've basically got different roles and then different requirements from a digital perspective, which shows where we expect you to be.
Got it.
So it means that we can say to a client partner or a business director, you don't have to be number 10 on search, but you should have number 6. And therefore, to get there, you need to have done this module, that module, this. You need to have been at good. You know what I mean?
And I guess that gets me thinking about sort of the evolution of agency. Omnicom has been a hugely successful business for decades, basically.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of noise at the moment about, the challenges that all businesses are facing, but, in our industry, the challenges that agencies are facing. As you see this change happening, where do you see opportunities arising as a result?
Well, I think, it's pretty much on every client's agenda themselves. I was saying, we've got lots of data and we don't know what to do with it. I mean, how many times have you heard that? Whether it's monetizing it, or whether it's, just using it for more effective marketing. So that's what we're trying to help clients with. I guess the other challenge then, if you take data as one, the other thing is making sure we don't lose sight of great creativity and ideas. And sometimes I'm worried that those great ideas that we used to focus on a lot is, not completely forgotten, but has deprioritised.
I think you're absolutely right. I think we've veered heavily towards just trying to get our heads around tech and data.
Yeah.
And that was probably the right thing to do because as an industry, as an environment, perhaps we weren't really there. Now that's more readily understood. I think the shift needs to go back the other way. Having access to the very best technology and data, but combining that with the very best creativity and strategy is how we actually continue to be relevant to the audience. This piano looks interesting.
Wow. This is our magical Manchester piano. Can any of you play?
I'll never learn.
Press a few buttons.
Go for it. Okay. So the white keys are all linked to imagery. We have a regular that comes in on his lunch break and plays for us. Yeah,
incredible.
It's really awesome.
That is incredible.
This is the Google Digital Garage in Manchester, and we specifically chose Manchester because you went to university here.
I did, yes. I was here in 1984.
Okay.
So quite a long time ago.
Seminal year.
Very good year. So yes, I was at Manchester University 84 to 87.
Okay.
And I studied finance and business. And accountancy.
How did you get from finance and accountancy to
CEO for marketing group and media? I only lasted 6 months.
Okay.
First lesson in life: if you don't like something, change it.
But you got an eye for numbers.
I've definitely got an eye for numbers, and that has been really, really important throughout my career. And actually, I think it is one thing with marketing and communications people that I always say to people: understand a P&L, understand a balance sheet, because not many people are taught it in their career in marketing.
There was a stat I was reading recently, I think it was in the 30s%, maybe 31% of people who work in the advertising industry went to private school. Now, you know, that's clearly not reflective of the population of the UK at all. I think it's like 6% of people in the UK go to private schools. A bit of a disparity there, and you've been heavily involved, not just in that space, but in diversity in general. Give me a sense of, like, you know, how you think about that for your business and for the industry more broadly.
Having one type of person in an organisation is not good. I'm very mindful of that, and one of the things that we've really pioneered last year and the year before is recruiting apprentices.
Yep.
That is where you can really pick up a real diverse background.
And do you think, like, you know, we've now kind of almost broken through that ceiling so that we're in the position where, you know, it's just accepted that we have to?
I do, actually. I mean, I think we have broken through the ceiling.
Yeah.
I think, right, why did it go on for so long? I think we weren't brave enough. You know, we were sort of, oh, well, if you've been to university in a posh school, you must be the best. Yeah. And I think we didn't really look at the business case behind diversity, and now it's a proven thing.
What have you found most successful? Has it been just, like, you know, building a culture of just accepting that, you know, diverse talent is the right thing? Is it from the top? Is it setting targets? What kind of things have you generally found have had the most impact?
I mean, you definitely need support from the top, don't you find that as well? Because it is a tricky area to navigate some of this, isn't it? And so there needs some level of navigation and support and not being scared.
Do you think this journey's ever over, or do you think, you know, it's just...
I think you have to keep on working at it. I mean, I'm constantly saying that to my team as well. I don't think it is over, and I think the minute you think it is, then I think you'll let things slip and you'll go back to old ways, really, of not having it at the top of your agenda. I think it's going to stay on the top of our agenda for a very long time.
I mean, it actually leads me to kind of the most recent bit of your career, which is, you know, recently made Advertising Association Chair. Yeah,
it's being announced tomorrow, and I'm the first media chief to be the chair.
Brilliant.
And obviously female as well.
Which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
If you want to pop these on, this is a story of our case studies.
Right. And are there lots of case studies now?
We have a fair few. We just recently had a gentleman get a job. When he first came in, he couldn't even use his phone. And now he's WhatsApp interviewing, he's got a job as of last week, so...
Amazing. One of the things that, you know, always comes through is your almost like obsession with the customer. You know, customer first is something that, you know, I've heard you sort of certainly drum into any meeting that you've been at. Give me a sense of what that means to you. What does customer first mean to you?
Well, it's two things, actually, because it's customer first from a client perspective, but it's customer first from a consumer perspective as well. So if I take the client, I get frustrated if people don't really understand the client's business. It's not hard now with all the data and information we have via Google to go online and read the latest quarterly earning results for one of our clients, or, you know, understand what their initiatives are. You don't even have to sit in meetings. It's all there. When you've got all this information at the fingertips, we should really be obsessed by their business. Second is we obsess about the consumer and really understanding every element of it, not just from a media perspective, but purchasing habits, just everything. We like to talk about ourselves as being consumer experts and almost consumer champions as well, and just really understanding them. And again, this is where data is so important.
There's no excuse not to know about your client's business.
Exactly.
There's no excuse not to know about what the consumer's thinking, feeling, where they're going, because the data's there and it's real time, and I think that's the beauty of it. Things like Google Insights and various other tools.
All the stuff we've been working on with you is brilliant, actually.
Do you think as an industry we're doing enough to understand the consumer?
I think, as I said, I think there's lots of sources like that, but are we using it? You know,
so it's there, but we're not always putting it to any good use. Philippa, it's been wonderful talking with you.
Well, thanks for inviting me to Manchester. It's great being back, my university town.
I think you might be right, actually.
I think I am right, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Down there. Okay.
I mean, we should, if we were looking for the university, we should have just Googled it.
Yeah.
Maps to show us exactly where it was.
Google Maps.
There it is.
There, that's it, yeah.
Beautiful.
University of Manchester, yeah.
That's lovely.
Yeah, it's lovely.
It looks like they've given that brickwork a bit of a clean recently as well.
These are all the buildings, obviously, where we also had lectures. I mean, it's huge.
Did you know Manchester has got the biggest student population of any city in Western Europe. Do you know how many students?
No.
100,000 students.
Wow.
That's incredible.